I found today kind of proves that obviously this older generation are engaging on social medias like Facebook. My likes and my followers are going up every day. An analysis of our statistics on social media, I need to maybe look at doing all that. It's just time, you know, it's looking at all these graphs and these fancy things that I can sort of analyse it through. I haven't got my head around that yet. I've started using Hootsuite because that's a time saver, so I'm knowing what events are going on over the road, and I'm sort of scheduling all those in so I don't have to keep thinking about stuff like that. That's really helpful. And I'll look into Pinterest when perhaps we have things like wedding fairs, because that's very visual. You've got to have lots of stuff going on there. And I plan to start a blog of the hotel, possibly. Watch this space. That's it.
Fabulous. Dragons, if you've got any comments, suggestions, questions, please feel free.
Okay, shall I kick off?
Yeah.
I know the hotel. One of the companies that I manage provides a service to our hotel, so you know we know exactly the lay of the land, if you like. There. In terms of the business, I think you've gone about it the right way in getting the data as you could from the local, you know, from Eastbourne Borough Council. But I'm always very cautious about that sort of local authority derived information, because if you look at how Eastbourne Borough Council promotes itself in terms of its branding, it's not exactly avant-garde, and I'm being kind. And exactly what you said, that the image of Eastbourne as being full of elderly people, and let's face it, when you go down the seafront, there is an extraordinarily large number of elderly people, which I assume do want, and you know, they do fill out the hotels, and I think you've got a difficult message to sell, because I think you've identified the right marketplace. You know, but maybe you could even go. Maybe you could go down into the sort of, you know, mid-20s and stuff. But I think you need to use your social media platform that you're starting to establish to. You need to. I would try and ramp it up by associating with other events that are going on in the town. Get involved. It may be something that you can very easily do as the Lansdowne. Hosting simple things, you know, free of charge. You said with the networking group, perfect example. There's lots and lots of other groups, and Eastbourne is absolutely full of little groups.
I'm giving I'm getting charities on board, and we've got a charity fashion show that I've advertised next week, which is the Lions Club, which do a lot of charity fundraising. So that's going out on our social media that the Lansdowne are hosting this charity event, and we're giving them the room for free, and getting more people into the hotel who wouldn't necessarily have been before.
And get links back onto their websites as well. You're going to facilitate that dialogue, because you're just building the traffic all the time. You get
the thing is, I find that at the end of the day, you know, we've got a job to do, and I work a 3-day week, and I feel I'm doing 5 days work in 3 days, but you know, I've got so many other things. I don't want to spend my life. You know, there are some people who are actually employed as the social media person for that company, and that's what they do. But you know, I can't. You know, I need to kind of find a fine line between, you know, me spending too much of my time doing, and that's what I'm trying to get the balance of.
You need a social media apprentice.
Yes.
And you have two dragons here. You can tell lots about that.
I think firstly, you're a one-woman social media machine. I'm very impressed. I think he's pulled out some really good stuff there. The Google Plus thing that he pulled out, definitely. It really does help with search rankings, reviews, unbelievably. Don't ignore TripAdvisor. Definitely give yourself some time on that and monitor those. You know, always answer back good and bad reviews. That is definitely important. But what I was going to say is that time. Obviously, you do 3 days a week, and it sounds like you're running the hotel as well. So, to a point. So, I think what you need to do is, you said here that you need to look at your stats and you've got no time to look at the data side. I think you've got almost 6 channels there that you're looking at. You need to decide which channel's a priority that's going to get you maybe, you know, people coming into your hotel, the event side. You need to look at your stats, what's driving the quality traffic, and then like split up your time, even if it's 20 minutes a day on something. Maybe it's 20 minutes a day on planning your Twitter for the rest of the week, 20 minutes on Facebook, 20 minutes on TripAdvisor, and that's it. But you don't want it to, 1, eat up all of your time, and 2, you'll be spending time on things that aren't really getting you anywhere because it's, I should do that. You know, we never say in our business you should have a Pinterest because everyone and their mum has a Pinterest. It's not what it's going to be, especially in business when you've got a small amount of time. So spend some time on that data before you start unleashing a blog. You know, who's going to be writing blog posts for you? The worst thing would be to have a dead and dying blog, or something that people aren't really going to follow. Or you've got some great stuff with the imagery, so maybe you could do small blog posts to follow that up with the imagery, rather than, you know, having a lot of content that maybe it's going to be like, oh, I'll do that for a couple of months, and then it kind of tapers off into this kind of dying death, and that's what a lot of people make their mistakes. So spend some time with data, then decide where you're going to get the most out of it.
Hi, really good presentation. I think my thing, following on from what AJ was just saying, is you said you're using Hootsuite, which is amazing because you can schedule your posts and you can do the same post. You can say, right, I want that to go to LinkedIn and Facebook and things like that. But think about what type of customers do you want? So do you want couples coming for weekend breaks? Do you want corporates coming using the, you know, event space and then having like a big dinner for 100 people? And then target the type of post that you're going to put out to the different channels. So if you're targeting the couples and the families, and obviously still the older couples that want to come to Eastbourne, then Facebook is the right place for those. If you're looking for a more corporate side, then you've got your LinkedIn and your Twitter. They're the right places to put that content, and you can build in your hashtags, and you can just write that out once and say, I want that to go to Twitter and LinkedIn at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. So you can be more kind of effective by doubling up in that way, but not everything's necessarily right for all the social media channels. So obviously LinkedIn, you're not necessarily going to promote weekend special offers for couple stays, but there's definitely an opportunity there, and it's prioritising what's the type of customers that you want. And Twitter's one where you can just put everything on Twitter. Everyone's on Twitter. So from the type of customer, you can pretty much put everything on there. But for Facebook, thinking about what's really relevant to the people who are on Facebook. So that 30 to 55 age group, what are they interested in? They want weekend breaks. They want really nice meals. They want to know that they can have a nice meal with a nice bottle of wine and then a walk along the seafront type thing. So that kind of messaging that they're interested in. Yep.
I thought that was a lovely presentation. It was amazingly packed with stuff that you've done and learned. And it's really quite amazing how much you've taken on. I thought there was, echoing what other people have said, I think there's something really interesting going on there about history. Or what you said. I think that if nothing else, if you have time to do nothing else, then emphasising the history of the hotel is one of those things that really start to tell interesting stories. And I think there's lots of stories you could bring out. It seems to me to be a kind of hidden equity in the hotel that you could make a lot of compared to the hotel next door, or the hotel down the road, or the hotel over the road. Something that's interesting and different about your place is the length of time it's been there. That might, though, mean getting other people to tell some of those stories. And it might well be that there are people who work there who've got their own stories to tell. And I think that maybe spending a bit of time at some point in the future asking, everyone, what would happen if everyone told a story? One paragraph. What was the funniest thing that's ever happened to you in the hotel? Or what's the spookiest place in the hotel? Or, well, you wouldn't really want to talk about customers too much, but, who's the worst customer you've ever had, something like that. That goes in the wrong direction. And then there are two other things I want to say. First of all, in terms of the time that you have, you clearly don't have much time, and other people have commented on how you can maximise the amount of time you spend on the most important and the most meaningful actions. But is there anything you could do to bring in someone to help you? And that might mean someone from this course, or someone who's a school leaver, or a creative apprentice. And there are various funds that you can get from various organisations and funders around here to pay half the cost of a creative apprentice or an apprentice in social media. And that might be something that you could look into. The other thing is something completely different, and that is, have you got Wi-Fi?
Yes.
So what do I see when I go onto the go and click onto the hotel Wi-Fi? Is there a splash screen or a welcome screen? Is there, when if I get the Wi-Fi going on my mobile, do I see a screen that I have to sign into?
No, because I'm kind of just on it, and I can't think when I first went back to the hotel,
Yeah.
I had to.
All right. Well, it would be good to get a friend to come in and go through the steps of signing on to your hotel Wi-Fi and have a look at the screen that they see when they sign on to the Wi-Fi, if there is a screen. Because that screen could be an opportunity for you to publicise your Facebook link feed or your Twitter feed or any other things that you've got that you're using for social media. Just think about ways you can get people to see those icons. Are there any other e-commerce opportunities on your website? If you're clicking through to book a room, is there a Twitter button? Where are you seeding all of these links and icons in the steps that people take to book a room online or to look at your website? So that's really what I've got to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all your feedback.
Thank you. Any questions from anybody else?
No, excellent.
Fantastic.
I know the man and Michael talked about apprentices as well.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Great.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Who would like to go next? Go ahead, Georgie. Yeah.